What's going on, America? This is Kevin from Kevin's Corner. And, you know, I think by now those that watch my channel know that I'm not a big fan of identity politics, because all that does is it divides people. Not only that, but it just shuts down any type of discussion, reasoning, argument, any of those things that a lot of humans rely on to solve problems. I mean, you can't go back to the old school kid tactics of just saying, shut up, you're a poopy head or you're a doodle brain. You know what? You can't argue with me because you're dumb. Yeah, you can't do that. You can't go back to those old school tactics. And that is what identity politics does. It makes people say, I can't reason with you. I can't have a good intellectual conversation with you because you're assigning motive to my belief, as if my belief is driven by some type of hatred, discrimination, anger, things like that. For example, today on the 5, Whining Juan Williams, okay, we all know who he is, Whining Juan, the issue of the illegal immigrants came up. And of course, Whining Juan supports this mess. And he goes into talking about how it is Donald Trump who is fueling this fear. He's using fear mongering. Yeah. And I'm thinking to myself, it's only fear mongering if it's not true. I mean, the things that he's talking about has nothing to do with race or anything. Donald Trump talked about now I think somewhere between 11 and 14,000 illegal immigrants that are coming up from Central America. He talked about how there can be potential terrorists, because I'm thinking, you got to think like your enemy sometimes. See, if I was an enemy that wanted to infiltrate the United States and I saw that there was a flaw in our immigration system because of sorry Democrats and politicians who don't want to fix it, that is exactly what I would exploit. I would say, you know what? Let me go down to Central America, hop on the little truck and travel on up, come right in. And then if somebody try to stop me, just call them a racist or something like that, because obviously stopping illegal immigrants have nothing to do with the fact that they're legal or the fact that they could be bringing drugs, the fact that, it puts American lives in danger, the fact that it weighs on the United States taxpayers, the fact that it puts children in danger that are being used to come up here, the fact that it laces the pockets of coyotes and drug cartels. It's not that. It all comes down to the fact that these are people of color, according to Juan Williams. See, and he goes on to say that just the thought of it being potential terrorists in there or potential drug dealers or gang members, all of that is fear mongering. And I'm thinking to myself, the only people who come up with false fears or phobias is the left, because they use identity politics. See, they assign unnecessary fear. See, a phobia is an unhealthy fear of something. So, for example, if you say, I disagree with marrying homosexuals in church, now all of a sudden you're homophobic. So I'm afraid of homosexuals? No, I just disagree with marrying them in the church, okay? They can get married somewhere else, but don't make the church do it. I have nothing against homosexuals and their personal decisions. Or somebody say, I disagree with 25, 30, 50 genders. Now all of a sudden, what am I? You're anti-gender, you're gender phobic. They just come up with anything. They throw phobias on everything because they use identity politics to shut down debate or argument. They don't want to know your reasoning behind it. They just want you to agree with their opinion, and if you don't, they'll label you. They use phobia for everything, unnecessarily. So, Juan Williams was talking about that, and he's like, hey, you got a president that uses a term that just so divisive, like nationalism. And I'm thinking, okay, I saw the rally, and he was talking about how they tell him not to use that word, nationalism. Oh, it's scary, because, a lot of people want to think that nationalism goes back to, say, Hitler or, according to Juan Williams. You ready for this one? Juan Williams feel that what he was talking about was white nationalism. See, And this is a trick of the left. They throw their own context to the statement. They embellish. Now, he didn't say anything about white nationalism. In fact, I understood the context in which he was talking about nationalism. He was talking about having pride in your country, which the left is, they're all about destroying pride in your country. They're all about globalism. And he referenced and made a contrast between globalism and nationalism. Nationalism doesn't mean you're going around like, you know what, America's #1 and we hate every other country besides American, and we're going to make this thing white. We're going to make sure that there's all these, the blacks and the Hispanics and the whatever other thing you are, because if you're not Anglo-Saxon, you don't belong in this country. Let's get them out of there. You know, that doesn't mean nationalism. What it means is that we understand that America is a sovereign country. We understand that there are a lot of people who committed their lives to making sure we have the freedoms and luxuries that we have. We understand that you got a lot of people who made the ultimate sacrifice for Americans, for America, and we don't want that to end. We don't feel that we have to be in everybody else's business. Nobody likes a busybody, okay? Nobody needs to go snooping around in everybody else's, what you got? No, worry about your own, okay? We're focused on America first. That's it. And you know what? If there's overflow, if there's a surplus, we don't mind helping. We've been doing that. We've been helping all kind of countries, and they've been taking advantage of us, and at the expense of Americans. And so when he used the word nationalism, if anybody was watching it, you understood the context and what he was talking about. And of course, you know, the media is acting a fool. Oh my God, he's talking about nationalism. What is he, Hitler? Is he going back to, oh, you know what? It's a dog whistle. It's white nationalists. Yeah, see, they throw in the white part. They just leave out, you know, the fact that I'm an American and other people are Americans that are proud of our country. So are we white nationalists as well, according to Juan Williams? So anyway, I wanted to address that. Just in case you got some people out there that's calling you up talking about, see, I told you, did you hear what your boy Trump said? He said that he's a nationalist, and you see, I told you, white nationalists. No, you always have to go back and watch the whole thing and understand who's out there in the water trying to attack the president. There's sharks out there. And anytime somebody regurgitates something that the president said, and it's coming from the liberal media, you already know the context is in question. Anyway, you've been listening to Kevin and Kevin's Corner. It bothered me listening to Juan Williams, always going back to identity politics. Can't just be, I look at the situation and think it's stupid, because it doesn't make sense and it's not going to benefit the United States. It always comes down to you're racist, and the reason you don't want this to happen is because you hate black people, white people, Chinese people, women, gays, lesbians, transgenders, animals, the environment, babies, old people, you name it. They got a litany. I bet you they got a Rolodex of identity politics categories. Let's see. All right. Small pygmies with little teeny feet, but also have big hands. Yeah, that's what you're anti-small pygmy person with little teeny feet and big hands. You know, they probably got Rolodex of almost any category that can divide people, and they just pop them out when necessary. Anyway, you've been listening to Kevin and Kevin's Corner. Find me on Facebook, on Twitter. Make sure that you follow me on Facebook. Hit like, hit share, subscribe, and also check out my my sponsor, Extreme Tees. I love them, y'all. Extreme Tees. Make sure you check it out. The link is in the bottom. Matter of fact, all my links are in the bottom. And if you want to donate to Kevin's Corner, feel free. There's a link in the bottom to do that too. And I also want to thank everybody who has donated to Kevin's Corner, and also who has been participating in the super chat that have donated as well. And I will see you tomorrow live in Kevin's Corner on YouTube. And my link to my radio blog talk show is in the bottom as well. God bless. See you next time. Kevin's Corner.